although my dad lost his job along the line, it affected us really bad because I still have, I and my brother was still in the university.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Chasing Light, the collective for creators by creators. In today's episode, I'm joined by the wonderful Darlington Sheriff, all the way from Nigeria. Darlington, I'm so excited to have you in today's episode. How are you feeling? What's it like
Very
over
well.
there? Just how are you in general?
Yeah, Gio, very, very well. Thank you so much for having me on this one because it's been a long postponed call, and finally we're here. And it's pretty much see sunrise over here, and then just trying to get the whole day started.
This call has been a long time coming. We've been trying to
Yeah,
sort this out between each other. Darlington's a very,
yeah,
very busy
honestly.
man, and you've been working on a lot of extremely exciting projects by the look of it.
Yeah.
And sort of talk me through some of the projects you're working on at the moment, or can you not talk about those at the moment?
Yeah, I can talk about that. So one of which is my own personal brand, my company. So I'm trying to release my own custom merch, my preset and stuff like that related to my work.
Uh huh.
So that aside, I still have an ad campaign I'm working on for this company called Zoe Pool. So they're trying to
Interesting.
bring women into blockchain and just get all of them rolling in the industry because here in Africa we have more guys or men into the blockchain industry. So we're trying to create an ad campaign to just show different women and the different career path. If you're an athlete, if you're a designer, an artist, a musician, a dancer, all kind of profession, I get to feature them in the video and pretty much what I've been working on this past few weeks a month. Yeah,
That sounds incredibly exciting, and it's
yeah,
good to
honestly.
hear that you're moving forward with the times and you're making it more progressive, which is
Yeah,
something that the
honestly.
rest of the world definitely needs to start doing a bit more.
Yes. Lucky for me, my country got really quick into moving to the previous life
Hmm.
before the whole COVID stuff coming and the whole quarantine stuff happened. So pretty much, I really wish that all of my friends in different countries have that same feel or privilege to go back outside, start shooting and creating content for themselves because the internet keeps moving and if you don't move with it, you're just going to be behind, honestly.
That's a very interesting point. The fact that if you don't move with the internet, you get left behind, and
Yeah.
it's very true. And do you think that's a good thing all the time, or sometimes do you like to take a break from social media?
It's sometimes good to take a break. Actually, I took my first break, my first official break sometime last year when it was really overwhelming trying to keep up with the media. There was just so much negative influence from there, so I had to just just go silent, go solo for like a month.
Hmm.
Did all of the social media apps for my mobile device just to get my mind straight, get to plan new stuff and overall just create a new path for myself. And yeah, it's good to take breaks every once in a while because you could actually get carried away with what's going on social media, honestly.
100%. It doesn't matter who you are. Social
At all,
media,
yeah,
don't get me wrong, it's great. It's brought together people like yourself with people like me who we might have never met
happen.
before if it wasn't for social
Yeah,
media. But
yeah,
but it does definitely
yeah,
have its negative influences. So
yeah,
it's interesting
exactly.
hearing that.
Exactly. I want to just say that because some people might just focus on the negative part, but it's actually advantages to social media. A lot of advantages to social media, and I accept that fact that yeah, you just have to play along with the algorithm. I would say just know when to be on and know when to be off.
Oh, okay. That's a sort of have almost like a schedule for it. Sort of, stick to it and take some time away. Make sure you make that time to take off.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense. Um, do you find because obviously a lot of your work is it's very much like outdoors landscape based in the book,
yeah.
and has it helped being able to sort of get out away from your screen and just be out in
Exactly.
there and enjoying shooting for what it is?
Yeah, honestly. Honestly, I get that question a lot of the time. Yeah, I used to be a big practitioner of indoor photography and stuff. Like when I got into photography back in the days, I used to take pictures of food in my house in my little dorm in school.
Oh, okay.
But
So
then
you started with like food photography then.
yeah, in photography, I still have my photos in my archive here. So it was pretty much a very good place to go into photography. Just be at your own comfort zone and just check out things are going to be like for you, your own camera and all that stuff. It's just very confined. But then I had to really test. Okay, no, then I had my first camera because back then I used to borrow from my friends to do my stuff. So when
Oh,
I had my
okay.
own first camera, I had to test the deep waters, man. I had to travel. I had to go to a state with a lot of landscape, with mountains,
Hmm.
rivers and stuff. So that was like 2018 November when I started traveling for real to take
So
landscape
you've
photos.
had your own camera for say, sort of
Yes,
you sort of first picked up your own camera about 3 years ago, then.
yes, exactly.
Wow. Okay. So but so you said you've obviously taken photos before that, but you were borrowing friends' kit and things like that. But
Yeah, yeah.
so how long have you actually been taking photos for? Because your work has got an incredibly lovely style to it, and you've got these really lovely tones, and your eye for art is like sort of
Yeah.
exceptional. It's spot on. So how many years has that taken to get to where you are now?
Okay, roughly 3 years. It's roughly 3 years now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
and then
3 years
yeah,
with the camera, you got your first camera, yeah.
yeah,
But
yes, exactly.
how long were you taking photos before that point?
Kind of like 6 months, 6 months, 5
Oh
months,
wow, okay.
7 months.
I thought you were going to say a few more years because it really
No,
has only been about 3.5 years then.
yeah, yes, roughly 3.5 years.
Wow, okay. You've come an incredibly long way in 3.5 years.
Yeah, there's,
And
honestly, thank you.
what was the first camera? And then talk me through that.
Okay, the first camera I used to shoot back then, it was the ones from my friend was Nikon D3100
Hmm. Hmm.
and the Canon T7i. Then I used to use the T7i for videos mainly. Then
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
three D3100 for pictures in my room. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
And
currently I use the Nikon D610
hmm. Hmm.
to do all of my little projects and stuff. Yeah, I do hope to upgrade to a Sony like you someday.
Oh yeah, I highly recommend the Sony 100%.
Yeah.
It was
The ad campaign I shot like a few days ago, I had to use the Sony A7 III, and boy, that camera is bananas. Honestly, that camera
I
is
saw, I
sick.
saw. Is it
Camera is sick.
is renting equipment quite popular where you are?
Yes, yes, actually it is. Yeah, it's kind of grew over the years whereby we want to use pretty good equipment, but we can't buy them. So I think these people got to understand that they have to go into helping us by renting their own stuff, their own equipment. They used to sell them before, but
Is
turned it to a rental shop.
is renting equipment sort of, is it affordable or is it quite expensive?
It's quite expensive for a beginner like me. It's
Hmm.
quite
Hmm.
expensive.
And do you find that sort of you make your money back on renting that equipment with the projects you're doing, or are you sort of the money's irrelevant as long as you can go and make the content that you want to make? That's all that
Yeah,
matters.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, actually, I partner with a very little business, like a startup business, is this like in my area.
Hmm.
So when I get to add the money from the rental and then the money for my own service, it gets to be a little bit overwhelming for them. So that affects business. That affects securing deals that you want to secure because nobody is willing to pay twice as much for your service just because you're going to rent a camera alongside. So it has this downside as well because they're pretty expensive to get. And some
Has
equipment, yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I thought it'd be interesting to
No, no,
ask.
it's good. It's good.
Has business in Europe and sort of the western part of the world, and the people I've
Yeah,
spoken to so far, business has been quite negatively impacted where they've all been because of the pandemic over the last year. Has
yeah.
business been quite badly affected where you are, or not?
Yeah, at first, last year, I think like
Hmm.
for the first 6 7 months last year, it was pretty much affected. People lost their jobs. Creators were all over. The creative wasn't found anywhere at all. Everyone was just in their house, chilling
Right.
and creating content from home, in your little compound, in your environment. You really can't just go out to the public, else you either get arrested or you get fined for that. So
Wow.
business was affected early last year. But now I think everything's pretty much going back to normal. Just try to stay safe outside. Just be on your mask and stuff. Not
Oh,
really,
okay. So
not really necessary. Yeah,
it sounds like it was
just
quite serious at one point. Was
yeah,
was
yes. At some point, so it's pretty serious. Like you couldn't go out. You're going to be arrested. You
Wow,
can't go
that's
out.
incredible. That
Yeah.
it was sort of similar over here. Um,
Okay.
if you I don't know how to explain this. In our country, there's like a fine line between essential and like non-essential things. So you could go out and exercise and go for a run, but you couldn't necessarily go out with your camera because it wasn't a
Oh,
part of
okay.
exercising. Um,
Yeah.
so it sounds similar. It sounds like,
Yeah.
a lot of people were at home, which is exactly what you're saying over there.
Yeah.
And but I remember you speaking to me prior to this call in that you've kind of learned to live with it a little bit. How long have you not had many restrictions for?
Pretty much 6 months. Yeah, 6 months, counting from September last year.
So
Six
since
months.
September, it's been just not necessarily normal because you've still got masks and things like that,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
life has
Yeah.
gone back to a very
Yes.
similar form of normality.
Yes, brother. Yeah.
And, and how are you and your family with that? Has it affected you at all?
No, not really. Although my dad lost his job along the line,
Right. And
uh,
was that quite hard?
it affected us really bad because I still have I and my brother was still in the university, so we
Hmm.
still have to pay our way through tuition, house rent and stuff like that. Those lead to financial stuff.
Hmm.
So right now he can't really meet up stuff like that. So it's left for I and my brother to hustle our way through to catch up again with all of those stuff. And it's been wonderful since the past 6 months. Let's say roughly 6 months. So I had to take up this career like it's no man's business. Had to put all of my effort in to see how I could maximize um, more juice from it.
So you're sort of learning to hustle, like you say.
Yeah,
Has
exactly.
a lot of people right now in this country, a lot of people from the people I've spoken to would say that hustling right now would be really quite difficult. And I think a lot of people
Yeah,
are saying that finding work, especially during the pandemic, whether it's working in our industry, whether it's not working in an industry, it's been noticeably more difficult recently.
yeah,
Would you say
honestly.
that hustling, like you're saying, trying to find the clients, trying to find the work, has it been quite a challenge for you?
Yeah, honestly, it has been because at one point I needed to upgrade my equipment because I
Hmm.
needed to start taking some real jobs that's going to bring out very good returns because I really can't keep renting expensive equipment to get the job done because I really need to maximize as much profit from every job I take.
Hmm.
But then I really didn't have the money to upgrade my PC, my camera and stuff like that. So that was what actually led to me going off for the first time ever in my life last year. So yeah, pretty
So
much. Yeah.
you went. Sorry, did you say you went traveling for the first time in your life last year?
And then the first time I went off social media because I was beginning to get overwhelmed with the whole.
Oh, I see. The first time you sort of went, yeah, you took a break, like you said, from social media.
Yes,
Sorry, I thought
yes,
you said traveling for a second. Um,
no,
and it, like you said, it just became quite overwhelming. And not to mention, sort of trying to find work last year, but it was a year like no other for everyone else in the world.
yeah,
And everyone, like, I think that's the beauty of, if there is any beauty to any of this that's gone on, it's the world has become sort of more connected ever than it ever
yeah,
was, if that makes sense.
yes, yes, exactly.
And the fact that you're continuing to create the content, you're continuing to grow your brand, grow your name, sort of finding work, as hard as it might be, I think that's sort of a credit to yourself. And you should really be impressed with yourself and how hard you've had to, work for this. So
Yeah,
a lot of people might say that you are lucky to be in a position that you are, to do the job that you do. I
yeah,
hear it quite a lot sometimes, saying people say that, oh, you're lucky to be in a position that you're in. But the reality is, like you've said, this is like, 3 years for you of learning this
yeah,
craft.
yes.
Do you think a lot of people might forget what goes on in behind the scenes?
Yeah, honestly, not a lot of people knows how much effort to put into the content to put out there. They don't really have an idea, except to do stuff like showing them behind the scenes of your work, or
Hmm.
just couple catalogs to just get them stuck with what you do. But honestly, they don't really know what goes down, the insults you face, the rejection you face at site, the stress you pass through, the back-breaking exercises and stuff. They really don't know what goes down to those part of the journey. Yeah, they just see the result and then they feel like, yeah, you're a lucky person, you're doing as much, but yeah, it's just
Yeah, a lot of people see that final result and presume that you're taking pictures, and how hard can it be?
yeah.
And is there any sort of standout moments from the photos in the book? There's one that really strikes me, and from the people who have seen sort of the book already, and the other creators who have had the chance to see it. There's a standout shot that everyone sort of their jaws drop. It's of the forgive me for my pronunciation.
Okay.
Is it the Usala Dam?
Okay. Usuma Dam.
Usala? Oh,
Usuma Dam.
sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good.
so, how far is that from you? Is it near home or?
No, it's pretty far.
Oh,
Really
really?
far. Yeah, yeah. If you want to drive down, it's like 12 hours from where I stay currently.
7
It's really
hours.
far.
Wow.
12 hours.
12.
Yes.
Oh, 12. I thought you said 7. Wow, sorry. That's the communication. That's
Yeah.
12 hours to get there. But what was it worth it?
Yeah. Honestly, it was worth it. Yeah. That was the last place I went to. That was actually my first trip out of my comfort zone.
So is there any other trips within the book, any shots within the book that have had like a similar journey behind it?
No, the rest of them were a little bit close to home. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
And sort of like for the people at home listening, I know a little bit more about your work, obviously because I've had the pleasure of speaking to you for the last few months. But
Yeah.
what is the environment around home near you? What's the how do I explain this? What's the scenery like around you? Is it
Okay, okay. Okay, yeah, yeah, I get the question, yeah. So we have a little bit more of waters here. Yeah, we have kind of very little landscape,
mhm.
very little landscape. There's just like mountains around here. So it's basically just lots of forests and waters here in this area. So yeah,
And
pretty much.
if there was anywhere in the world that you could travel outside of Africa, outside of Nigeria,
Yeah,
outside of the whole continent, is there anywhere that you really would love to go and visit, to go and sort of
honestly,
take
I
that
want to
perfect shot?
taste, yeah, honestly, I want to taste Hawaii. Hawaii is an awesome place.
Really?
Yeah, that place is filled with a lot of landscape. Like the blend is surreal. There's forest there. There's lots of waters there. There's mountains there, and the sunset and the sunrise over there is, oh God, it's amazing, brother. I really don't know if that's how it looks like really, but I see a lot of these creators go over there to just make the most out of the place. And
I
I want
think the Caribbean in general, sort of that kind of area, it it really does grip a lot of people. I've
to be honest.
been lucky enough when I was about 15, we went on holiday to Dominican Republic,
Yeah,
um,
awesome.
and it is incredible. It's somewhere I'd love to go back. It's very expensive to get out there, but you know I think Hawaii is somewhere that it needs to be on your bucket list, especially if you sound so passionate about going there. You need to make that happen
Yeah,
one day.
I want to feel that place.
100%, 100%. And
Yeah.
I would love to carry on chatting with you, Darlington. And there's so much more I would love to speak to you about. And I'm sure the people at home listening and watching, they'll be as intrigued as I am to learn more about you and follow your journey. But the beauty of this is they can see all your work in the book and they can follow you with your Instagram that's on screen and sort of follow your journey as it goes on. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, Darlington. I hope you've enjoyed this as well.
Yeah, honestly, George, it's been a very surreal moment, honestly, and I'm really
It
grateful.
is surreal. I'm glad you said that because it's incredibly surreal for me. I've met some incredible people so far on this journey for myself, and I never ever thought I would be connecting with creators, not to mention someone in Africa, but 6 out of the 7 continents now, which is
Yeah,
sort of my mind is blown. And it shows the power of photography, shows the power of this community, and
honestly, on social media in general.
It really does. It really does. And like I said, go and follow Darlington's journey. You have to. His work's exceptional, and hopefully you'll get one of the books and you'll be able to really,
Awesome.
you know, get a feel for his work from that, because I can't wait to see it printed.
Yeah, honestly, George, I really can't wait to see that book printed because it's just going to be awesome having the feel of all of my fellow creators in my hand. It's just going to be very mind blowing, honestly.